you would deny the allegations or the questions that are being raised on Tata Trust interfering or getting involved with operational growth with group companies?
Operating companies of the group, let me re-clarify and re-emphasize. They are independent operating companies.
There is no interference.
They are managed and supervised by their own board of directors. That board of directors of each company is the supreme authority of that company.
Why then did Tata Trust lose faith in Cyrus Misty?
I cannot comment on that in this. Let me first and foremost say that the board of Tata Sons lost confidence in Mr. Misty. Now that's a decision, a well deliberated decision which was taken by the board of Tata Sons after discussion in the board. I am not a member of that board, so I would not be able to comment on what the discussions were within the boardroom.
Would the focus be on global markets, big ticket acquisitions, or would you look at consolidation and rationalizing and focusing on the Indian market? What's the larger focus?
See, Kritika, like I told you, each of the operating companies of the Tata Group come to their own conclusions on what strategy should be. So that strategy may be very different from company A to company B to company C. There may be companies which have a global focus. There may be companies which have an entirely Indian focus.
One of the questions that that Cyrus Misty has pointed out is that the group is in need for rationalizing. Do you not believe that there is some merit in his statements on perhaps looking at exiting or hiving off loss-making entities, non-performing entities like Nano, for instance, and to be able to focus on better future operating metrics?
Let me go back to what Mr. Tata mentioned in his letter to shareholders, because I think that is a very, very important point. What he said was that we will continue to pursue the right financial metrics for all our shareholders. We will continue to nurture operating companies of the group as and when required by them. But he has also mentioned in that same letter that where a business is not viable, the group would look at exiting that business.
So that is a focus of rationalizing, getting out of non-performing assets.
Yes, of course. He has stated that in his letter.
Okay. Would Nano be one of those ventures?
That's a decision for the board of Tata Motors to take. I would not want to impinge into any area which is within the authority of individual boards of companies.
What about capital infusion? How aggressive or how strong will Tata Sons be, or will the group be, in looking at capital infusion into various operating companies?
What I would like to say is that we would like an agenda of growth, but it has to be an agenda of profitable growth. So where the group sees opportunities for strong profitable growth in the future, of course the group will take a conscious and well deliberated call about investing in those opportunities.
How big will you go on acquisitions as far as Tata Global Beverages is concerned? What is the kind of scale? Give me a number in terms of scalability that you're looking at, that Tata Global Beverages can look at through inorganic or organic growth, a number as to the growth that you can make.
I cannot comment on a specific number in this program. All I would like to say is that Tata Global Beverages is a strong company with strong cash flows, a strong balance sheet.
You will look at
and Tata Global Beverages has also very clearly said that we will focus on organic growth, we will focus on joint ventures, we will focus on acquisitions. All three modes of growth we are very open to within Tata Global Beverages. And similarly, it is up to each operating company and the board of each operating company to take a call on what are the vectors of growth that they will pursue.
Okay. As brand custodian, Harish, there's a very important point that I want to bring up, and I understand that it's up to. So I want to talk about Tata Docomo specifically. I understand it's up to the board of Tata Docomo and the management, and there is a plan being put in place. But and the matter is sub judice. So I don't want to go into the specifics of the details. I completely understand that. But would it be fair to say that that is a matter that has been long pending, that the group is working to put this behind them and move on? Is there a change in the direction that the conversation with respect to Tata Docomo has taken?
Once again, I do not want to comment on a matter which belongs to the specific domain of a company. But if you're asking me, is the matter receiving focus? Yes, of course it is receiving focus. Since you're talking to me as a brand custodian of the Tata Group, I also want to mention here that the Tata brand is a very strong brand because it's trusted. It's trusted by each of our stakeholders. Those stakeholders could be our consumers, could be our shareholders, could be our joint venture partners, could be the communities in which we exist, could be our value chain partners. The Tata brand is based on trust. And the Tata brand is based on being a good corporate citizen. So when decisions are taken in the future on any matter, I think the Tata Group and Tata Sons will always bear in mind that these are two big pillars that the brand rests on and will continue to rest on in the future. I'm not answering you on that question because that's not a fair question because it belongs to the specific company that it is part of.
As far as the TCS EGM is concerned, Cyrus Misty sent out a statement talking about the moral victory, and since he believes the retail shareholders voted in his favor, in the favor of Shapoorji Pallonji, what do you make of the retail arithmetic? If we are correct, we do understand that a majority of the retail shareholding voting came in from Shapoorji Pallonji Group. What is your take on that?
See, I know that the resolution at the TCS EGM was carried by a handsome majority.
But that was also because of the promoter shareholding.
Yes, because of the promoter shareholding. Yeah. But I also know that a large number of institutional and retail shareholders also voted in favor of the resolution.
That was still a thin margin. It was 52-42%.
Yeah, but I do not have access as I sit here today to how individual shareholders have voted in the EGM. Therefore, it will not be correct on my part to say anything about how any individual shareholder has voted.
I respect that, but Harish, going forward in that case, the fact of the matter is that Shapoorji Pallonji Group does have, and Cyrus Misty and family does have stake in other group companies. So does it not worry you that that could play a role in other EGMs as well?
As far as the EGMs are concerned, I am sure all shareholders of our companies will take on board the appeals that we have made to them, will see the logic for why we are moving these resolutions.
You're confident of that?
I believe that we have put forward a very strong case.
And you have to take this into account as well, if EGMs were to not go in your favor, what would be the option then?
First and foremost, I am very confident that our shareholders will respond very positively to the appeal that Tata Sons has made. Recognizing the context and recognizing the rationale for why these resolutions for the removal of Mr. Misty are very important to the future of our companies and to protecting and growing value in these companies in the future. Should a situation come about such as what you're saying, then it's up to the board of Tata Sons and to Tata Sons to look at what should be done. I cannot speak on their behalf. The board will have to deliberate on such a situation should it arise.
Okay. There is one school of thought, some corporate law experts believe that if any EGM should go in Cyrus Misty's favor, then there could be a conflict between the promoters and the board. As a result of that, some legal experts say that this could trigger a takeover court. Essentially what that means is that Cyrus Misty will have to make an open offer. What would your reaction be on that?
Okay. I do not want to venture into that legal territory. All I want to say is that the presence of a director on the board who is in open hostility to the primary promoter company is disruptive and dysfunctional. That I think we have laid out very clearly.
So the way forward for your shareholders, for our viewers, once this entire debacle or if at all there is a resolution inside, once it is genuinely over, what really will be the key focus areas as far as the group is concerned?
I think there will be 3 or 4 key focus areas. First and foremost, I think there will be a predominant and very sharp focus on ensuring profitable growth. Each operating company of the group and as well as the unlisted investments that Tata Sons has made, we must remember that this group was founded 149 years ago. When this group was founded, Jamshedji Tata, who founded this group, said that the community is very much at the center of this group and everything we do should be keeping the community in mind. I think that's a focus that Tata Trusts already bring to the table. That's a focus that many of our companies bring to the table, and we need to ensure that that focus continues undiluted. So in many ways you will find a focus on profitable growth, you will find a focus on building the brand, you will find a focus on the community. And finally, I think one of the things I want to mention very clearly on this interview is, even while the situation has prevailed for the last few weeks, I would like to acknowledge and pay tribute to the managements of the operating companies of the Tata Group. Over 7 lakh employees of the Tata Group, as well as the board of directors of our individual operating companies, that for all our operating companies, it has very much been business as usual. They have been engaged in providing their customers products and services of the finest quality, as they have always done in the past, for several years and several decades. And for that, I think the focus on ensuring that we build talent for the future will also be a key focus. As a brand custodian yourself, you don't believe that the 140, 150 years has, or brand Tata has in any way been affected after this issue? No, I think brand Tata would have been affected with respect to some stakeholders, and which is why I spoke about nurturing and building the brand for the future. I believe with our consumers, brand Tata has not been affected, because consumers largely are driven by the excellence of products and services which they buy from us, from operating companies of the group. And as I mentioned to you, that voyage of providing our consumers products and services of the finest quality has continued uninterrupted in all the operating companies of the group. If the brand has been affected with respect to other stakeholder groups, of course we will focus on ensuring that we restore the brand, we build on the brand, and we nurture the brand for the future. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Pleasure meeting you, Kritika. And thank you so much for speaking to CNBC TV 18. Good luck for the way forward, and we hope to see and hear some clarity and news from you in the next coming month. Thank you very much for this conversation, and I hope our next conversation is over a cup of Tata tea. Done. I will hold you to that. Harish, thanks a lot. That was Harish Bhat speaking about the road ahead for the group. EGMs, as he said, are around the corner, so Tata Sons is well prepared. Thanks for watching.